into transgender madness in Canada, shall we? Efron, would you mind putting my friend Lise back on the screen?
Oh, you might just get my voice, Canada. I'm going back to my
caller. Are you there?
I came from radio, Sheila, Gunn, Reid. I don't need to see my voice. I could just talk to you. It's fine. This is great.
Okay. All right. Headline from the CBC. Judge refuses to move transgender inmate to women's prison ahead of judicial review. Is this a judge doing the right thing?
This sounds like Canada getting dangerously close to common sense on the legal front. Ooh.
What on earth?
Because of course, trans-identified men should not be put in women's prison, which was my number one concern with the story that we have coming up about the sentencing of what was his name, Alice Michael Atwood.
Yeah, I got 5 years.
5 years, but honest to God, my first initial thought was, oh my God, they're going to put him in a women's prison if he identifies as this, and this absolutely must not be allowed to happen. Absolutely not. I got to interview a Canadian woman who, because of a couple of months ago, because of a set of circumstances that were largely out of control, she found herself incarcerated. Okay, she found herself incarcerated with trans-identified males in her women's prison. The way that they disrupt, the way that they are obsessed with being attracted and sexually attracted to their own selves, and constantly, like, the women that would be housed with a trans man are the most vulnerable women in the country. And so, so that we're looking at this, that we're re-examining how this all works, that a judge said, no, we're not going to automatically send this guy to a women's institution. Well, that sounds like sanity. That sounds like sanity. Yes. It's awesome.
So Amanda Cooper, isn't it funny? Amanda Cooper is the federal inmate in question here. What we should note is that he, regardless of the pronouns or the plastic surgery this guy has had, he is a dangerous offender. Like, that's not an easy process, by the way, to have somebody deemed a dangerous offender. You could be a career recidivist, violent criminal and still never meet the classification to become a dangerous offender. This is a dangerous offender.
Yeah. So he underwent taxpayer-funded gender surgery in 2024. Okay, everybody knows that's a man. Everybody knows it's a man. That is a man.
He has a madam's apple. Like, I don't care about the road cones you stick to your chest and call them breasts. You've got a madam's apple, sir.
Yes.
And there's no getting around that.
Digital Graffiti says in the live chat, they're autogynephilic, not transgender. And that is true for a great number of the identifying community. Yeah.
Corrections Canada, to its credit, has also denied the request.
Thank God.
And he's a dangerous offender with a history of sex offenses.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't like a guy who just is beating up people, maybe a murderer, manslaughter, a drugs gang.
Yeah.
Sex offenses against women. Okay?
Yeah, this is a predatory male. This is a predatory male.
And yet CBC continues to use the preferred pronouns of a dangerous offender in their article.
Unreal. Like to affirm his fetish, because that's what it is. That's what this is.
Okay. Cooper, who's from the Montreal area, identified as a man when committing multiple sex crimes against women. She, according to the CBC, was declared a dangerous offender in 2001. This is not a recent development. And is currently incarcerated at good old Millhaven Institution, a men's maximum security prison near Kingston. Then Cooper started playing the game. Cooper began identifying as a woman in 2020 and had gender surgery paid for by us in 2024, giving her, they say, a vagina and breasts. She said she has fears for her safety in a men's prison and is in self-imposed isolation. Now you know how the
Maybe,
you
okay, so maybe we shouldn't have given him feminizing surgeries
right.
that would put him at risk in the male prison. Corrections Canada. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe if you're in prison, you shouldn't have access to sex rejecting surgeries on the taxpayer dime. I know that this is going to blow the minds of crazy leftists, but what kind of insanity is this? We're
Well,
giving him the surgery that then allows him to say, oh, and P.S. I'm a woman and not safe with all of these, all of these deviant, perverted men that will target me.
yeah.
What on earth?
Well, excuse me, sir. Now you know how the women feel when
Well,
you were sexually assaulting them.
it's not women's responsibility to uphold this delusion. It's not women's
Right.
responsibility to bear.
Right. And
Throw him in
so,
a men's prison. Keep him in a men's prison. Pardon me.
yeah, leave them
Uh,
there.
he's absolutely does not belong in a women's institution, nor does any trans-identified biological male.
Oh God, I look at this and I just got off the phone before I came on air, and it's like to get any sort of like specialized mammography in this province, it's like a gazillion weeks, and this guy probably got his chest surgery just
Without
lickety
question.
split.
Without
Paid for.
question. We got the Freedom of Information documents back in Saskatchewan, Sheila Gunn Reid,
Right.
where Saskatchewan women can't get access to post-breast cancer reconstructive surgeries, but hundreds of trans-identified men can get bolt-on tits for,
Yeah.
excuse my, oh, I'm going to take that
No,
back.
that's fine. No, they're fine. Those do look bolt on. They look
They're
like Lego
bolt-on
boobs.
tits. Sorry,
They look like
but
Lego boobs. They're
but
not well
trans-identified
done.
men, trans-identified men in prisons
Yeah.
take priority over actual women
Right.
in this country.
Yeah.
This is insane.
This
Is
dude
insane.
turned himself into some kind of sex doll. And he wants to be transferred to a women's prison
Yeah.
awaiting the judicial review of Corrections Canada's decision. But this is what Corrections Canada cited in their decision not to transfer him, which is, by the way, in contravention of Justin Trudeau's 2017 rule saying,
That's right.
well, if you're trans, you just can move to the women's prison.
Yeah.
Screw the women that are there.
And you think
Um,
predators aren't doing this, and people that are gaming the
He
system are doing this?
he's done this too.
86% of the, I want to say it was 86%. I read it just
Yeah.
this morning. Diana Alastair had it on X. A hugely disproportionate number of trans-identified men identify as trans at the point of sentencing. So they're not trans while they're committing the crimes. They're not trans while they're going through their trials. But as soon as they get sentenced, well, then that's when they pull out their new girl card to go to the
Right.
women's center. Like, it is
Right.
craziness.
Where the women and the children are.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, every women's, I think everyone but one in Canada has a mother baby unit. Like, not
Yeah.
a mother baby, sorry, a mother child unit in
Right.
the institute,
Yeah.
rehabilitation
So
institution.
corrections officials have cited Cooper's criminal background, which includes multiple offenses against women, sex offenses against women, and they say her history of being fixated on female prison staff.
Oh, disgusting. He's got a fetish. This is interesting. So they're not moving him to protect the staff at the institution, not protect the women that are being housed in the institution. Okay. Huh. That adds
Now,
another layer.